Okay. Mr. Olivan, did you were able to get the
I was. It took me. I figured out you had to click on this mouse. Apparently, there's a mouse there. So I got it.
your technological geniuses are.
For sure, for sure. So,
okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, you know, going back, you know, I think I kind of skipped over this earlier. So, Victoria, when you guys separated, you worked out this schedule, right?
The one that said in a case.
You're muted.
Sorry, thank you. Yes, right.
Okay. And, you know, if you were to look at the overnights based on the current arrangement you're doing, you have 4 overnights and Jesse has 3, right? Each week?
Right.
Okay. But if you were to take the, if you were to ignore the overnights and look at the 24 hours a day schedule, you know, you pick them up you get them in the afternoon on Friday, right?
Right.
And you have them all day on Saturday and all day on Sunday and all day on Monday.
Okay.
Okay, and then, yeah, and then Tuesday morning, right? So until 8 o'clock, let's say. So if I took that half day on Friday and the Tuesday morning, let's say that's 20 hours, and then the other 3 days, how many hours is that? 24 plus 24 is 48, plus 24 is 72.
I'm not sure what the relevance of this is. It's more argumentative than anything else.
Mr. Mullivan, how is it relevant? I mean, we've heard what the overnights are, et cetera. I don't care if we're coming down to, you know, 1 hour here or there or something of that nature. I'm not going to decide on that basis.
Your Honor, yeah, I understand. I think the relevance of it was just to kind of show that the parties kind of just split the week in half, and essentially that's what their schedule is. But I'm happy to move on, and I'll ask Ms. Baber that question. If she can answer it, great. Is that fair to say that if you looked at the week right now, it's essentially shared equally?
No, I would not say, but
because you think what? Why?
because I have them an extra night. I get them ready for school in the morning. It's not the same amount of time, but
Okay.
anyway.
So, but let's look at school nights. If there's homework to do, you have to do school night homework with them on Monday night, possibly?
Right. Ava normally comes home with a giant thing of homework on Monday. That's not due till the next Monday. So we save it, and then when she comes back to me on Friday, we work on it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and turn it back in on Monday.
Okay.
And
that's obviously unless it was already done with Ava and father, right?
Well, the first month or so we did this schedule, it wasn't getting turned in. So the teacher contacted me, said this is not getting turned in. So I said, I will make sure it gets done. So then I started keeping it on Mondays to make sure it got done. But yes. What was the
name of the teacher who contacted you?
This is Mrs. Angel, and she
when did she do that?
Class dojo. When we first separated and started the schedule.
Well, what was that answer again? Dojo? What was that? That's her name.
That's how the teacher messages me. It's like texting, but it's for teachers.
So you have a text message or a message from the teacher that says the homework's not getting turned in. We need to work on this.
I do.
And that was from.
When I started keeping the homework at my house, and we did it over the weekends.
So that was way back when you first separated?
Right.
Okay. And obviously there's no complaints since then.
No, we've got it done.
So you indicated that Mother's Day weekend you and Mr. Burns were together with the kids.
Correct.
And in fact, you guys ran into Dad at the Horrocks, right?
Yes, we did.
And Mr. Burns, did he threaten, Jesse and get in an obligation with him?
They talked. I do not think that he threatened him, but
Threatened him to the point where you texted Jesse to tell him to be wary, stay away from him?
I did text him that he was not a happy camper and probably shouldn't be around each other.
The fact that you were concerned that Mr. Burns had made some statements that indicated he may want to do harm to Jesse?
Right, they were both at each other in Horrocks, so that was the last of any type of contact with him.
And that was in front of the children?
Right, the children were with us.
Okay. The kids were hugging Dad when this was going on?
Well, the problem was I was also in the restroom for most of it. I walked out and that was what I walked into.
All right, I'll move on. You had said that there was two, since you've separated, there was two separate occasions that you can recall where you believe the kids were left alone when they were at Dad's house, right?
Yes, there's three. The first one Ava talked about, but I only have messages from Ava.
Okay, when did the first time occur? Do you have a date or do you recall?
I want to say it was in February. The second time is definitely April 11th.
Okay, so February of last year or February of this year?
Would be this year.
So a few months ago.
Right.
Okay, February 2024, and then you said April, what did you say, 11th?
April 11th.
What year, ma'am?
This year.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and again, you said this is because of a text message you got from Ava?
Right. Ava
Okay,
was saying that Jesse had went to a gas station, which is 10 minutes away.
I would just ask that the court strike that the hearsay response that was non-responsive to my question.
I'll strike whatever she stated that the defendant had said, or what the child had said.
Thank you, Your Honor. When was the third time, Victoria?
No, so the first was something Ava just mentioned to me. So the first, I don't have any record of. The second two I do.
Okay, I'm not asking for a record, I'm asking for a time. When did this other instance occur?
The first one would have been prior to February. Would have been before that. I don't know when, but.
All right, so there was an incident before February of this year and one before the April 11th one, okay. And you indicated these were because you received text messages from your oldest daughter?
Right.
Okay. Did you reach out to Dad in response to you're getting notified that the children are alone?
I'm sure we talked about it. I don't remember how I reached out to him.
Well, if you were
I did definitely reach out to him. The
Okay.
April 11th time, I definitely called him and asked him. I said, "Can you have the kids give me a call?"
Okay, and this is on April 11th?
Right. And
What transpired? What happened then?
after I asked him to give me a call,
Yeah.
he texted that the kids are fine, and then instantly Ava responds with, "We're fine.
I don't
Dad
need-
didn't go anywhere."
Again, I'm not asking what she said. I was asking what transpired. So he texted you or called you?
Ava?
Jesse?
No,
Okay.
Jesse didn't call me.
Ava texted you?
Ava had texted me. That's how it all started.
Were you able to interact with them in another form than text messages?
Not that night, no.
Okay.
Not that I recall. I don't remember getting to call them after that.
In fact, did you get a text back from Jesse that said I had never left, that Jesse had never left?
Oh, he might have said that, but I mean, if Ava thinks he's gone.
Okay, but in fact, you got a text from Ava.
What's that?
You received a text from your daughter indicating that Jesse had not left, right?
Yeah, after he knew that we were talking. So then he had to text me that, oh, this never happened.
Okay.
Well, there was
But
multiple texts and
You
multiple minutes
didn't
of.
drive. Sorry.
Your Honor, they're talking over each other. I can't.
Yeah, let's ask or answer your question, then stop so that the other person can respond.
Yeah, I apologize. That was me jumping the gun. Victoria, you didn't contact his parents or go to the house, did you?
No, I told Ava to give him 10 more minutes and then I would head that way.
Okay, but obviously you didn't need to do that.
Right.
You have a text message to Ava that says, if he's not there in 10 minutes, I'm on my way.
Yes, I have all her texts.
You have that text message that says that? What you just testified about?
I should. I think it's in our,
Okay. So you personally did not confirm that the children were alone. You just are relying upon this information that was provided by the children. Okay. And that's Ava only, right?
yeah, I mean, my 6-year-old and 3-year-old cannot text.
Okay, so the 6-year-old and 3-year-olds, they don't text?
No.
Okay, and in fact, they really can't read either, right?
No.
Okay, is that why Jesse has complained about why the kids should not have the ability to text, because only one of them can read? And in fact,
Your Honor, I guess that's asking for a reason of his own client. There's no basis that my client knows that.
Well, if she knows, if he's given her that response.
You have to ask the question again.
That's fine. So when you guys have had a dispute regarding the electronic devices that the children have access to?
Right.
It was during that dispute is one of the reasons that Jesse gives you is that only Ava can read, so there's really no benefit of you texting. Why don't you call? Is that fair?
I do both. I like to be able to just shoot to her a text and tell them good night, love them, which I don't see a problem with.
Do you think it's fair that a parent should have the ability to put restrictions on cell phones and electronic devices for children?
Yes, any social media type of stuff, or maybe any contact from people who are not family members, but mom and dad, no.
Okay, well, I mean, do you think a 6-year-old is responsible enough to have a cell phone of her own?
It has YouTube on it and she can text just me, so yes.
So, but she can text anyone if she types a number in, right? There's no restriction.
Yeah, she could take a random number to someone and send a text, I guess. Anyone could.
So it's certainly reasonable for a parent to restrict or limit the access that the children have to the internet and those kind of devices, right?
Yes, but not to their mom.
Okay. But you don't have any specific instances where Jesse has denied you or blocked you from contacting the children, do you?
Every single time the iPads go to his house, texting is turned off. So anytime I send Ava a message, it says rejected or not received.
Okay.
So yes, he does restrict that in that manner. He'll allow me to call them on speakerphone so he can hear what's going on, which is fine, whatever. But no, I cannot text them at all.
Doesn't now a phone conversation with a 9-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, if it's on speakerphone, doesn't that allow a couple kids or more than one child to hear the conversation as well?
Of course.
So, I mean, it could be mommy's calling to talk to the kids, hear kids, take the phone? that possibility?
Yeah, that's normally what we
Okay.
do.
All right. Now you testified that dad has a conviction for OWI. You said DUI, is what you said.
DUI is one OWI and one DUI, but yeah, however you want to differentiate them.
And you recall he was convicted of these offenses?
I mean, we spent $20,000 in lawyers for them, and he lost his license. But
All right.
yes.
So do you know if it was actually a reckless driving conviction, not a OWI or drunk driving?
I don't know what it was convicted of. It's just,
Okay, it's fine. Now, but he does not drink anymore, to your knowledge, right?
to my knowledge, no.
Okay. You continue to drink, right?
Yeah, as most all adults.
Okay. Now, do most all adults have to have their soon-to-be ex-husband drive them around for their work job because they drank too much?
I do. What's your question?
I guess I object to the question. I didn't understand.
Okay, I'll ask a different question. It's fine. Has Jesse had to drive you during your work because you've been too intoxicated?
No.
So if he testified that he's had to do that on occasion or in the past, that you're saying that there's no basis for that?
No. Has he had to drive me to work because I've drank?
Work with her in the car while you've been too intoxicated to drive?
No.
Not ever?
No.
Okay. What about when you were working together as with the business?
I'm confused onto what you're even talking about.
Okay, that's fine. You're telling the court that Jesse's never had to drive you around because you've been too intoxicated to drive.
For work? Yeah, of course not.
Okay. What about other times?
No. That's
Has there ever been a time that you've driven around with the kids in the car and there's been drinking going on?
no.
What about cans or drinks, alcoholic drinks being in the vehicle while the kids are in the car?
No.
Okay. Now, if the court were to modify the schedule to that 2255 schedule, one of the complaints you had was that Tuesdays would be an issue for you in regards to if the kids had to go to daycare. Is that what you said earlier?
Yeah, we would have to find daycare, and I would like the kids to not be in daycare. I think that would be best for the kids and me and Jesse.
And that's something that you and Jesse had actually discussed previously about not wanting to rely on daycare, not wanting to put the kids in daycare if you can avoid it, right?
Right.
And so if Jesse were to say that he could try to help out on that day, would that alleviate that concern? Maybe Jesse provides the daycare for your youngest before school. And then he's in school and then, that wouldn't be an issue.
Go straight to their house, so just gives him an extra day. Right now I have adequate time with them.
Well, I'm only looking at it more of a daycare kind of situation, alternative, let's say. If he were to provide that, is that?
Yes, I guess if we change the schedule, then I would need daycare, but right now I don't need that as the schedule is.
Okay. But again, we're only talking about that Tuesday day if we change the schedule, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, I was asking you before our break about the school, and so Ava has gone to school there her whole academic career.
Yep, through third grade.
And she's been doing well academically?
Yeah,
Okay. Your middle child, Everly, has been in kindergarten, right? Doing well?
Right.
Okay. By going to school that many years, they've developed or formed friendships with other classmates. Is that fair to say?
yeah. And
Okay. I'm going to show you what now. I want to show you what I marked as. Your Honor, do you need me to have my assistant email those exhibits to you, or somehow get you a paper copy too? That
Now, we decided that once we get in admitted, then the ones that are admitted, we'll copy them off and I'll have those.
Yeah,
Okay.
just for clarification, Your Honor has been going by the letter of the orders, and this is non-compliance with the orders. So I just wanted to know if there's a dispensation for this, but not for something else.
Okay, well, make your objection if you
My
have.
objection is that if the orders haven't been followed, then the exhibit should not be in.
Okay, Mr. Moldovan, what's your response?
I guess is that in regards to the court not having a paper copy, or the timing of it?
Yes, I think that's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay. Again, Your Honor, I would say I believe the court has the exhibits in their possession. They were provided, within a reasonable time period. If anything, it may be an inconvenience, but certainly Mr. Schaefer has had exhibits for as long as they've been filed. So I think, given the nature of these exhibits, they're relevant. They should be admitted.
Your Honor, the only response is that he had all of the exhibits on the property matter. We had done that through mediation also. So if that is not an excuse for that, I don't think his excuse of not complying with the order is a dispensation here.
Okay, well, what I'm going to do is, I always do, is enforce the orders as written. It says that the paper copy will be provided to my office. It was not done, so the court will not admit those that were not complied with the case scheduling order. Mr. Moldovan, you can still ask questions about those, just
Sure.
I'd admit them.
Okay. So then that's fine. So let me find my exhibit here. So yeah, I think let's see. Okay. All right, so let's see if I can share the screen. All right, so Victoria, can you now see exhibit C on the screen?
yes,
Okay. Can you identify what this is?
when we decided to put the kids in, take them out of Delton Kellogg and put them into Gull Lake, I did the paperwork, obviously, to do that.
Okay. And why I have it here, I'm gonna also show you the second page here, which can you identify this page too? Is this the same thing, but for the following year?
Right, I had to do it every single year to keep her in it.
And you in fact did it again this most recent year, correct?
This most recent year, because yes, I want to make sure my kids can go to school regardless of how this turns out. So yes,
Okay.
to preventative measures, I took care of that.
So they've been, and then in actuality, Jesse also submitted the same paperwork to your knowledge. Is that true?
I have no idea if he did or not. We have
Okay.
not talked about it.
Okay. So you requested that the court allow the children to be enrolled in, all right. Again, I guess, Your Honor, I would move that these exhibits be admitted, but I understand the court's ruling. So,
I object for reasons stated, Your Honor. Number one, not compliance with the court order.
Okay. Well, again, the court will, will not admit the exhibits because they did not comply with the case scheduling order. Notwithstanding that, I think, obviously, Mr. Moldovan, you've gotten the answers in that would, again, address the exhibits, so they're probably somewhat duplicative in that particular regard.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you. So, Victoria, you did request that you did believe that it was in the children's best interest that they attend Gull Lake schools, right?
For where we were all living at the time, yes.
And in fact, oh, go ahead.
Yes.
Sorry.
At the time, I did.
Okay. And at the time, you were living at the Dowling address on Bristol Oak Street, right?
Right.
All right. And in fact, that your rationale or your request to allow this enrollment was because of what you testified there. The AVA has comfort and familiarity with the school. You have family ties to the school, a rich history there at those schools, right?
No, objection. She didn't testify to that, Your Honor.
Well, what part of it did she testify to, Mr. Schaefer?
About the family connections, and basically everything that he just asked. She did not testify to that. She said that she did paperwork to get them into Gull Lake, but that did not testify.
If I may, I believe I did ask those questions regarding the family, uncle, grandparents, or Mr. Vavra's parents were being an administrator and teachers, and even Miss Vavra working there for a period of time. I believe I did.
He asked those questions, but he never asked. That's why she wanted him in Gull Lake school. That's argumentative.
Okay.
We'll let the record speak for itself. He did ask about those particular family ties, et cetera, and she in fact acknowledged that. So I guess if we want to get into again the dispute over the basis for the enrollment, then we'll have to do that. But I don't think that's the question before now.
Okay. Thank you. So again, this was a decision that you believed was in your children's best interest at the time, right?
At the time for the address that we were living at, yes. But that's not the case anymore.
What?
But yes.
Mr. Jesse still lives at that address, right?
Yeah, he does. But now my address has changed. So.
But you also made that decision since you've separated and established that house on Redner, right?
I did that in case I could not move their district. That's just taking care of normal mom responsibilities.
So you did it last year, right?
Right.
And you did it again just most recently, right?
Yes, just in case.
Okay. And you would have done it right after you separated, if you separated in January of 2023, January 2023, right?
Yeah.
So you did it at least twice since then, right?
Yeah, it's the kids' school I do every year.
And you bought that house on Redner when you separated?
Right.
Yeah, okay. So your concern now is there's a drive that you have, right?
I guess my main concern with the school district is that I am moving back to Marshall, and Penfield is exactly halfway between Marshall and Jesse's address.
Okay, so right now you live on Redner, right? And now you say you're going to move to Marshall?
That is the plan.
When is your plan to move to Marshall?
I Hopefully in the next few months after I figure all this out.
Where are you looking at renting a house, purchasing a house? What are you looking at?
Purchasing a house
With whom?
with myself.
Okay. So will you sell the current house?
Right.
Okay. And move to a new home in Marshall?
I mean, that's what I would like to do, but obviously that depends on all this.
Okay. So, now the kids have, besides the Redner house that you've lived in since you separated, previously you lived together in the Bristol Oak Street address, right?
Correct.
Okay. How long have you worked as a realtor?
I have had my license for maybe 3 years.
Okay. Is that house desirable despite what you've testified about?
As in to what?
I object to the question, not clear.
Yeah, clarify if you would, Mr. Moldovan.
It's lake property, right?
Jesse's house?
Yes.
Yes, his parents' house is on the lake.
Okay, so let's focus on that house that you and Mr. and Jesse lived in together with the children, okay?
Right.
It's on a lake,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yes. Okay. And this kitchen sink that you talked about that the kids had to bathe in, it's not your normal kitchen sink. It's a large basin. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's a kitchen sink. Yeah.
Okay, but it's not like something I can put a dish in. It's larger than that.
Yeah, it's a regular sized kitchen sink.
And you guys bathed the kids in the kitchen sink before, right?
Yes. Yep. I had to do it for years.
All right. And there's bathroom facilities in this house.
Yep. There's definitely a
Yeah.
toilet.
Okay. Yeah. And there's a shower
Mm-hmm.
that you used when you were there.
Yep.
And everyone uses the shower.
Yep. Jesse and I did.
So your complaint was that kids should have a bathtub.
Yeah, they should.
And you said Jesse's parents lived real close by. How close?
2 houses down.
Okay. And this is kind of a small little neighborhood right around the lake.
Right.
Okay. So it's not uncommon to go down to that house to do laundry if need be.
I mean, I don't think it's an ideal situation, but yeah, if you take your laundry to the neighbors and do it, you could do it. And so we did.
And if needed for a bath time, you could certainly use their bathtub, right?
Yes, you can use your family's bathtub.
And you lived in the house together for how long?
For a few years.
Okay, so it was clearly adequate for you guys to live there for a few years, right?
Right.
Okay, so essentially, let's say for more than half your daughter Ava's life, you guys have lived in that house? Or she has lived in that house, I should say?
Yes.
How old do you think she was when you guys moved into that address?
I don't know, maybe 3, 4, I don't know. I don't remember.
All right, so at least 5 or 6 years, last 5 or 6 years, that's been her home for both of you for what period of time, and then her home with dad for a period of time, right?
Right.
Okay. And just for the last year and a half or last years when you have had the Redner house, right?
Right.
Okay. But yet you still say you're the one who's providing a stable home environment?
Yes.
All right. Besides Mr. Burns, who else have you dated since you separated?
Nobody.
Okay. So the kids have never met anyone else, any other people in your life?
No.
Okay. And you had said that the breakdown of the marriage was because you guys were fighting over where to live and who can provide health insurance and
Health insurance, jobs, anything to that manner. Yes.
what about infidelity?
No.
So there was infidelity was not the reason for the breakdown?
No, it was not.
Okay, so the fact that you were having an affair with someone you worked with was not the reason for the separation?
No, it was not. Once I knew we were separating is when I went out and got a full-time job because I realized that I was going to need to buy a house.
Okay. And that's eventually when you started up this other relationship?
And then a few months later, yes, I would not call it a relationship, but it was a friend.
Okay, that's fine. So do you and Jesse attend the school functions together?
We have attended one conference together.
Okay. Medical appointments together?
Typically I do them.
Okay, so even when they're scheduled during the week?
I schedule them all on Mondays.
Okay, and you're able to do that, so you're flexible enough to do that on Mondays?
Right, because my day off is Monday.
Okay, so and your day off is also Saturday, Sunday, right?
Yeah, but doctors are not typically open that day unless it's urgent care, but yes.
So, now, do you think, in with respect to the holidays, that it's fair to share the holidays or rotate the holidays so that each of you can have time with the kids?
Right. Yeah, I think that's fair. That was not our current schedule. We had been going on all year though.
So historically, and this issue we had a problem with for Christmas was, historically, you guys have just followed whichever day it is. If it's you kind of ignored the holiday. Is that fair?
Right. It's simple. That way the kids aren't bouncing around back and forth.
Yeah. But moving forward, you think you would support a holiday schedule that allows you guys to rotate those major holidays?
Right.
Okay. And you have 3 children, right?
Correct.
All right. And you're not currently pregnant, right?
No.
Okay. And I only ask that because that's one of the questions that the court can establish to do proofs, not because I think you might be pregnant. Okay. Now, if you and Jesse were to decide who can claim the child tax exemptions for the children, well, let's say for this 2023, did you file taxes?
Yes, I did.
File married separate or married joint?
These last taxes I filed separately.
Okay. And so did you claim, which children did you claim for 2023?
I talked to my accountant and my lawyer at the time, and they said since I have them for more overnights, that I claim all 3. So that is what I did. Okay.
So you claimed all 3 for 2023?
Yes, the most recent taxes, I claimed all 3.
Okay. Now, moving forward, are you willing to consider a different allocation of those exemptions?
No. If I still have 4 nights and I'm still providing all their health insurances and most bills, I would like to continue to claim all 3.
Okay. If Jesse were to propose to you an arrangement that allowed you guys to rotate that equally, like each of you claim 1, and then one claims 2, the other one claims 1, and then the next year it rotates. Is that something you
No, I
would?
think if they're with me for more overnights, then I will still claim all three.
Okay.
I think that makes sense.
That's fine, that's fair, so, now. Do you provide, lunches for the kids, on Monday and Tuesday?
On Monday and Tuesday, yes.
Okay, and Jesse provides for the other days,
Yes, the other 3 days.
presumably, right? Okay. Now. Is your work, what, like, this is, just tell me what you do for Gallagher, like, are you at an office, are you on the road, what do you do?
I'm a route specialist, so I know all the different routes, and then I fill in for a different route every day, whatever needs to be filled in.
So
I drive a truck.
you're driving?
Yeah, I drive a truck.
Okay. So if you're out on a route, and where do the routes take you? Typically, where would be a normal route, or?
They're anywhere. Lansing, Battle Creek.
So they're not all just in the local Battle Creek area. There's some could be as far north as Lansing, east and west, things like that, right?
Right.
Okay. So if the school were to call and say, hey, it's Monday or Tuesday, one of the kids are sick, would you have the ability to get there and get them, or would you have to contact Jesse to see if he was available?
I would, I feel like it's the same for every parent at work. They would have to call someone else. But yes, I would contact Jesse or his dad or my mom or my dad.
Okay.
Someone
if you couldn't do it, right?
Correct.
If you couldn't do it, okay. So, and so do you think it's reasonable that you and Jesse can continue to co-parent and work on those communication things?
Right. I think what we have right now is working fine.
In regards to communication?
I think, yeah.
Okay. You're aware, obviously, that that Jesse's asking for a different parent time schedule, right?
Right.
All right. So, and you obviously said that you would consider a different schedule if it was appropriate, right?
Mm-hmm.
You recognize the importance of weekend time with the kids?
Right, which is why we offered the 1 weekend a month.
Okay. Would you be satisfied with 1 weekend a month?
No, but being a stay-at-home mom all the years, I feel like they should be with me more. But
well, you said you went back to full-time job at Gallagher right before you separated, right?
right, obviously I needed a house and they need health insurance.
That was about 2 years ago, give or take.
A couple months before, yeah, right. A couple months before we separated.
When did you start working at Gallagher? You think it was September, October, November? October?
Mm-hmm.
So October of 2022? Right?
Yes.
Okay. So before that though, you weren't necessarily a stay-at-home mom, you were a realtor, right?
For Jesse's flip houses.
Okay. And Jesse previously had worked for the emergency response. You did that as well?
Yeah, we did that years ago.
Okay. When did you start doing that? 2010-ish?
I think I started there in 2013.
Okay. So you were doing that when Ava was born?
Yep, we did that until
COVID?
no, I wasn't really working even up to COVID, but
you had a source of income during those first years of the kids' lives, right? You weren't just
we both in and out had a month here, a month there, but typically Jesse worked and then I stayed at home with the kids, typically.
Okay. So I think Mr. Schaefer asked you this, work has accommodated this parent time schedule for you, right?
Right.
So what's changed? The 8:30 start date on Tuesday, is that the accommodation?
The accommodation was that I needed Mondays off permanently, which as a route specialist, I'm supposed to sub. So I really need to be able to work all the days. But I told them it was either that I had to quit and be with my kids, or I needed Mondays off consistently so I could have them in 4 consecutive days. And that I also not only needed that, but that I needed to come in on Tuesdays late so I can get them up and around for school and out the door.
Okay.
So they
Now,
accommodated both of those things.
and so then on Wednesday, Thursday, I think you said that you worked until sometimes as late as, you're in as early as 4 a.m. and you're there until as late as 9 p.m. something. Is that what you said?
9 if I didn't come in till 8:30 and I ran a route in Muskegon, yeah, I might not get back till 9. That's not typical, but that's why I gave you a range.
Okay, so on some of the days that maybe, let's say that you don't have the kids, is it realistic to think that you could earn extra hours, work extra hours those days, take an extra route or a longer route?
No, I work pretty much the max amount of hours I can from Tuesday to Friday.
I'm just wondering if it was possible to say, do people at Gallagher work on Saturday?
I mean, they do not.
Okay, I don't know, I mean, I'm just asking, I didn't know, what about on Sunday, if anyone's working on Sunday, or is that always a closed day?
I think they're always closed.
Okay, you would know, I mean, you were in charge of the routes and things like that?
Right.
Okay, I just was curious if if you had the ability to work extra hours on the other days, if you didn't have the kids to worry about after school.
No, I don't think so. I think I'm pretty maxed out on my hours that I don't have them.
But they were willing to accommodate that change, right?
Yeah, it was, they did not like it, but I squeaked by with it.
Okay, so right now, the current schedule has you getting the kids to school on Monday and picking them up, right?
Mm-hmm.
How's their yes?
You have to answer yes or no. You can't go, things of that nature.
Okay.
No.
What was the question?
Do you take the kids to school on Monday?
Yes.
Okay, so how's their attendance?
Good on just unless they're sick or unless there is a dentist appointment, which should correlate with any of those days.
Okay, so you're saying a lot of the times when the kids are absent on Mondays, it's because you schedule an appointment to take them out of school or they're sick?
Right, their dentist is all the way in Grass Lake, which is over an hour away.
Why Grass Lake?
It's the only place that would take them.
Okay, and that's because of Medicaid?
No, I have insurance through work. There's just no one is taking patients. I obviously tried Battle Creek first, but and all the surrounding areas. So it's the only place I could get to take them.
So the kids' dental stuff is kind of just more of a recent issue, right? Recent thing?
Since we've separated.
So I want to go back to the attendance thing. So so you said the kids miss school when they're sick or you have appointments?
Right.
So that explains why the school sent you a letter regarding the kids' attendance.
The letter was from the weeks that Jesse started taking them to school. That is a very old letter.
Okay.
Not a recent thing.
And did you look to see what days the kids were actually absent from?
No, I did not.
And if I told you that on those days that 9 of those days are Mondays, would you have any reason to dispute that?
Over a year period.
This year.
I mean, if that's the records, then I would assume.
Okay, well, do you know, can you recall have the kids missed 9 Mondays on your weeks?
I don't count. If they're sick, they don't go in. If they have a dentist appointment, they don't go in.
You just said that you thought they were on Jesse's days, and if I tell you they were on Mondays, those are your days.
I believe the answer was a little bit different than that. She said it was an old letter when Jesse was in charge of getting in school.
That's my recollection, Mr. Mullivan. So if you have specifics, ask her or otherwise move on.
All right. All right. So if the court were to, so again, Mondays you're already doing, right?
Right.
So if the court were to modify the schedule to another school day, you could work on trying to get the kids to school, or would you be willing? Is that true?
It depends. Depends on
Okay.
work.
You guys have recently been relying on Jesse to come to your house to get the kids to school on Tuesday, right?
Correct.
And so that arrangement, if that arrangement continued, would that work? Would that allow a different schedule, or at least help you get the kids to school on your days?
I guess I don't really understand your question.
That's
You're
fine.
saying if
Yes.
That's fine.
I'll object to the question too. It's speculative and it's not very clear.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Mullivan.
Yeah, thank you. No worries. So when you moved to that house in Dowling with Jesse, right? That was 5 years ago?
It could have been. I don't know the date.
And again, his parents live nearby, and his brother owns property nearby.
Yep, his parents owned the cottage that we moved into, and they owned their house, and then his brother owns the house in between, but he lives in North Dakota.
Okay, so again, that allows the children to have lots of interaction with their extended family on dad's side, right?
With their grandma and grandpa, yes.
Okay. And so you have no concern with that arrangement, right?
With them living by them?
With them being able to see grandma and grandpa?
Of course, they can see them.
Okay. And obviously, other than that, then, Jesse, the dad's there, right?
Right.
Okay. So you're comfortable with his parenting skills and techniques, right?
Yes.
When you were
Once I'm not
together,
left alone.
when you guys were together, you didn't have concerns with leaving the kids in his care.
Right, but typically I was their care. But yes, for the amount of time that they were left with him, I felt they were probably safe.
And since the year and a half of your separation, the children have essentially been going to each other's houses pursuant to that schedule we talked about earlier, right?
Yes.
So Jesse's been making sure that the kids get to school to and from on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Right. His parents take on half the time, but yes.
Okay. And is that, you haven't had any complaints to the school about that arrangement, right? You allow the parents to watch or grandparents to take the kids?
Your Honor, she's answered this question about 3 or 4
Right.
times. I'm not, I think it's cumulative at this point.
Okay, I'll move on. That's fine. And, so, Victoria, you testify that you make about $56,000 a year from your source of income?
Yep, that is what was on my taxes this year.
So and I without having the W-2 in front of me or your tax return in front of me, is that the gross income or adjusted income? Do you recall?
I do not know.
You get a W-2 from Gallagher, right?
Yes, from Gallagher, I get a W-2.
Are you hourly or salary?
I'm hourly,
Okay. And what's the hourly rate?
$28.50.
Okay. And you work approximately 40 hours a week? What?
40.
40. Okay. You said your health insurance was $385 a month or something. Is that number correct?
$345.
Thank you. And that's per month?
Correct.
And that covers you and the 3 children?
Correct.
4 people? Okay.
Mhm.
Do you have any union dues?
No.
Okay. And so besides your income from Gallagher, you said you're a realtor.
Right.
Do you still do you do any other sources of income besides that?
No.
Okay. Do you get a 1099 from a brokerage company for that?
Yes, that's the realtor.
Okay. What company is that?
That is Keller Williams.
Okay. Do you recall what the 1099 was this year, or if not, it's okay.
I don't. What was claimed on my taxes this year was them combined, and that was the 53 or 56. I don't have the taxes in front of me right now, but my 2 combined incomes were that this year.
Okay. I have no further questions this time.
Okay, thank you. We'll turn it back over for a redirect to Mr. Schaefer, but Ms. Varva, when you come back next time, if you would, look at your tax return so that I know exactly how much you made, because 53 or 56 are different, and
Okay.
obviously child support will be based upon whatever the true number is. So that, Mr. Schaefer, go ahead.
The 53 or 56, whatever the total is, that would be the total income that you had from Gallagher and from any realtor income. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And as you indicated before, you've gotten no contribution from your husband in relation to any of the insurance expenses. Is that correct?
Correct.
You were asked about the skills of Jesse of caring for the children. Do you question his skills if, in fact, the children are left alone?
I do think they have been left alone.
And is that bothersome to you as a skill that he has caring for the children?
Of course.
Did your husband make any effort to find dental accommodations for the children, dental needs?
No.
Do they have substantial dental needs?
No, they don't have any more needs right now. Like, we've taken care of all of them this year.
Okay.
Besides savings.
Did you have a dentist for the children prior to you leaving at the separation time?
No, we only took them in if there was a big problem because there was no insurance.
So there was not an annual checkup for the kids prior to you getting insurance on the children?
No.
Did you feel that that was a necessity for the kids to have medical and dental coverage and attendance?
Yes.
When you filed did you file returns prior to 2023?
Yes.
And what was Jesse's contribution to the amount that was declared in 22?
It was always different. It was random because if we were doing flip houses, we obviously didn't really claim taxes. So they probably would not be little to no income most of the years.
And Jesse has represented in pleadings that he makes $60,000 to $70,000 a year. Is that your recollection of his income?
No.
What amount of time when you were together with Jesse did he spend on his employment, which was apparently flipping houses? How many hours a day?
I would say that he would be gone for 10 hours a day. But it would always be different. So I don't know.
Did you have conversations with Jesse about having the kids go to critical care on occasions when they had an illness?
Yes, but he never thought they would need to go.
And what sort of things did he think that they were not needed to go to the doctor?
Mainly pink eye and urinary tract infections.
Did the children engage those maladies and they were not taken to critical care because he did not believe that it was appropriate?
Correct. So I take them, if it happens to be in one of my days, obviously I take them, or try to take them before they go back to his house or whatnot.
The children, there are only 2 children in school, and one's in kindergarten, one's in 3rd grade. Do you believe that there is going to be any difficulty of them changing schools at this point in time?
No.
Objection, calls for speculation.
It's a parent's perception of the ability of the children, Your Honor. I think that's a fair lay opinion.
Well, it's probably tenuous in this matter, but go ahead.
Do you believe that they would have any difficulty changing schools?
No.
Due to what's the distance from the home of Jesse to the school? How far, how many minutes away is that?
From Gull Lake or from Penfield?
No, Gull Lake.
Gull Lake, I don't know, I would guess 17 to 20 minutes.
You were asked questions about the kids having friendships in school. Are you aware of any visitations outside of school of the children with their friends?
Yes, they have friends over and vice versa.
Okay. Did you ever get an okay from Jesse to change the school to Penfield after you moved?
No.
Did you have discussion with him of having the children in a more centrally located area because of the travel time?
Yes.
And what was his response to that?
No, he wants them to continue in Gull Lake.
What do you believe about the proposition of this 2255? Is that going to be workable at all with your current employment?
I do not think it will. And I would like the kids to be consistent every week, not random days.
You talked about in response to questions about Jesse paying $20,000 in attorney fees in relation to some sort of offense that ended up with him losing his license. Is that your recollection?
Yes.
How long was he without license?
I'm unsure, maybe a year.
Do you recall out of what jurisdiction this event took place? What county?
Calhoun.
Your Honor, if I may, was there a year on there, or was there a year? I seem to, I might have missed it, that's why I didn't know.
No, she wasn't asked and she didn't give a year.
This event took place when you and Jesse were together?
I don't think we were married, but we were together.
And you were married in 2017, correct?
Correct.
Your Honor, I object to it being not relevant in all this testimony regarding that.
Well, the court will take it for what it's worth, recognizing that, again, it did happen prior to the marriage, so, and obviously before children, so there's a limited utility, I guess, to the testimony. But again, if he had an incident after that, which she claims that did, it would go to, again, his routine, habit, and all of that. So I'll take it for that worth, but recognize it's limited.
Thank you.
To date, have the children ever been to daycare?
No.
When is the last time you were aware that Jesse had a job that was not self-employment of flipping houses?
I think he had a job for about a month doing roofs. maybe
When would that have been?
that could have been 2 years ago. And then when he worked full time, it would have been, I don't know, from 2010 to 14 maybe. And then it was just spotty on and off.
I don't believe I have any other questions, Your Honor, at this time.
Okay. Mr. Moldovan, any recross?
Thank you, Your Honor. So with respect to the school, you don't live in Penfield School District, right?
Right.
Okay, and you are proposing moving to Marshall.
Correct.
Okay, but your objection to the kids continuing in Gull Lake is really based on the travel time right now that you have, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if the court were to continue the status quo that you've been doing, right?
Right.
You moving to Marshall and allowing the children to be enrolled in Penfield, that's going to only impact your travel time on Mondays, right?
Right. So if the schedule continues the same, then I guess they could continue in Gull Lake if Jesse's going to continue the days.
So if your parent time schedule stays the same, you're okay with the kids staying in Gull Lake because Jesse's taking them to school the majority of the weeks of the days?
If the days stay exactly as they are, yes.
Okay. Otherwise, you would want the kids to go to Penfield schools.
Right. If the days change and I need to get them transported, I need to get somewhere that I can get them on a bus and have help with transportation.
All right. So you said something along the lines of the 2-2-5-5 schedule. I think your words were, I want the kids to have a consistent schedule every week and not random days.
Right, I guess, and I'm considering random them being for me with 2 nights and then 2 nights and then 5 and 5 and all the jumble seems chaotic, and I think they need consistency.
So do you understand that, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, I apologize. Do you understand that the 2-2-5-5 schedule would be consistently every Monday and Tuesday in this scenario would be yours every week? You understand that?
I understand, but I work on Tuesdays.
Okay,
So
and
it's just Monday.
okay, and on Wednesday and Thursday, every week would be dad's if under this proposal,
Right.
right? And you work those days?
Yes.
Okay, and then the weekends would be the issue there is they would rotate.
Right.
You understand that? Okay. Do you see that that's not inconsistent, but that's pretty consistent?
Again, that's argumentative, Your Honor.
That's fine.
Okay, move on, Mr. Moldovan.
I will, thank you. So, and Your Honor, I think I'm good for now. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Mr. Schaefer, any, sir, recrossed or
No,
redirect?
no, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, that's all we'll take from you then, Ms. Valbra. Next witness, Mr. Schaefer?
Okay, could Your Honor tell me who is in the waiting room? Is a Jennifer Inman there or a Katrina Cole?
Both were there. Inman has left, but Cole is still there.
All right, then I would call Katrina Cole. please.
Okay?
She comes.
Ms. Cole, in this matter, we're going to take some testimony from you, so we're going to have you sworn in. So if you would, please raise your right hand. We'll do that, and then we'll proceed.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay? Go ahead, Mr. Schaefer, when you're ready.
Would you state your full name and spell both your names, please?
My name's Ekaterina Cole, EKATERINA COLE.
And are you related to Victoria?
Yeah, she's my sister.
And do you know her three children?
I do.
How often do you see your sister and the three children?
At least once a week.
And have you observed the relationship between your sister and the children?
I have.
How would you describe it?
They're very close. Tor's a great mom.
And have you
Yeah.
observed her?
Objection. Calls for an opinion that I don't think she has the basis to give.
Well,
I think there is a basis, Your Honor.
okay. Well, presumably, Mr. Schaefer is going to get into that, so I'll take the answer subject to is, again, laying the foundation.
You see them at least once a week. Is that what I heard you say?
At least.
And you observe the children with their mother and how they react to each other?
Yes.
Do you observe your sister and her children and discipline that she gives them and their reactions on a daily basis when you're there?
Yes, I do.
And how old are you?
I'm 23.
And have you ever seen anything inappropriate going on between your sister and the kids?
No, never.
Okay. Have you seen Jesse and the kids?
I have not seen Jesse and the kids in probably over a year and a half.
Okay. All right. Very good. Are you aware of the schedule that your sister has on working and when she has the kids?
Yes.
When do you normally see the kids and your sister?
Usually on Saturday or Sunday.
Okay. And is it at her home?
Usually she comes to my parents' house, but sometimes I go to her house.
Okay. Are you familiar with the physical outlay of the house?
Yes.
Would you describe that to us, please?
Yeah, it's a 3-bedroom house. Has a full bathroom, washer, dryer. It's always clean. She keeps up on everything.
All right. And are you familiar with the rooms that the children have in that house?
Yes.
And do they appear to be appropriate for the children?
Yes, Ava has her own room and Everly and Eli share a room.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Moldovan, any cross-examination?
No. Ms. Cole, you are Victoria's younger sister?
Yes.
You guys have the same parents?
Yep.
Okay. And you said you see them on Saturdays or Sundays at your parents' house, right?
Not always. Sometimes it's at her house.
Okay. Like when was the last time you saw her interact with the kids?
It would have been this last weekend.
Okay.
So Sunday, I think we had a birthday party for Everly.
Okay. Who all was there?
Everly's great grandparents, my parents, aunts and uncles, Victoria.
Anyone else that wasn't related to you?
No.
And that was the birthday party for, you said, for Everly?
Yes.
What about the time before that?
The time before that,
They saw Victoria with the kids.
it would have been the weekend before that.
Mother's Day weekend?
Yes, if that's when that was.
Okay. Who was there?
But really the same people. Mario would have been there. Aunts and uncles, because we had a Mother's Day celebration.
Okay. So who's Mario? Is that Mario Burns?
Yes.
Is that Victoria's boyfriend?
It was a friend of hers, yeah, to my understanding.
Were they drinking? Was there drinking involved that day?
Not to my knowledge. It was like around noon is when everybody got together, so kind of early for that.
How long were you guys together that day?
I don't know, maybe till 4 or 5, I would say. But
You think your sister's a good mom?
yeah, she's a great mom.
Nothing further. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else, redirect Mr. Schaefer?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Cole, that will conclude your testimony. Thank you. You're free to go. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Who else? Do we have anybody else?
Nobody else at this time. There was a Jennifer Inman present earlier, but
Okay.
she has since left.
Okay. We
Your
don't have
Honor,
anybody else.
Your Honor, I had one other witness scheduled. That was Jennifer Inman. She had, obviously, she had a work requirement, so that's probably why she has left earlier.
Okay.
That would be the last witness that I would be calling.
Well, obviously it's a little bit early. I'd hope to go right up until noon, but why don't we break now? We've got another date scheduled, so we will continue at that time. I think we'll probably be in touch with your offices, and because we didn't get in today's date, we'll set up another half a day just so we have that as backup if we need it. Anything else?
Okay, very good.
Paper today?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Moldovan, anything else today?
No, nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor. And
Okay.
Good luck, Schaefer, this afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We'll stand in recess then.
All right. Thanks, Judge.
All right, very good. We'll close the record here.
Thank you.